that's what Kirby Smart has got on his mind. So let's get to that other one, Shane. Again, just a complete demolition here. Alabama beats Cincinnati 27-6. And I never seen a playoff game or national championship type game like this, Shane, where Alabama comes out 10 straight runs. They just had no respect for Cincinnati. And then they're on, I think it was the 8-yard line. They score a passing touchdown. So 10 out of 10 run. Then you get a walk-in touchdown. And from that point, man, I got to be honest. I feel like, Bryce Young didn't have his best game. I feel like Alabama played their maybe B- game. And yet they destroyed Cincinnati because Cincinnati was not a threat. They could do nothing on offense, and they couldn't stop Alabama. And how about this stat, Shane? Brian Robinson, 204 rushing yards for Alabama. We all know the list of Alabama great running backs: Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, T.J. Yeldon. You can go on and on and on. Alabama's never had a running back to rush for 204 yards in a bowl game until now. So credit Brian Robinson there for his heroics. But at the end of the day, man, this felt like a Notre Dame, insert of a joke of a team, because this was a formality for Alabama, just making quick work of Cincinnati. And I did think it was hilarious. One more thing to go back to Kirby Smart. He was asked in the postgame, Shane, about moving on to the national championship. He said, "Well, I'm a little upset because Alabama got a 3-hour head start on us." So I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I mean, these are the two juggernauts of the sport. You know what?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, this is the same deal. This just felt like Alabama just put their hard hat on, went to work. That's it. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Just go out there, hand the damn ball off. I was watching this game with my wife, and we were watching these guys doing the coin toss, and she goes, "Oh my God, look how much bigger Alabama is." She's right. That all you have to do is just lean downhill on these guys, and that's exactly what Alabama was able to do and walk away from. Didn't have to show much. But I will tell you, Mike, there was a couple of things in this game that I don't want to say red flags or anything like that, but I think needs to obviously get corrected, because I guarantee that Georgia's all over this film. Cincinnati found ways to get pressure. Cincinnati is not as athletic as Alabama for sure, but they did find unique, interesting ways to get pressure and keep Bryce unsteady in the pocket. I don't know if you saw that or if maybe I'm just overreacting or just taking little tiny things out, but it did feel a little bit like Alabama's going to have to, get back to the film room. They can't just walk on the field and beat Georgia like they did a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, and that's easier said than done, but that's what we had seen leading up to the SEC championship. Auburn in the Iron Bowl. LSU was another one. Texas A&M. They were able to get after Bryce Young, and that's the key to slowing him down, not letting him sit back there and pick you apart. Now, they did a masterful job of getting the ball out of Bryce's hands quick in that SEC championship, but that's going to be the challenge, Shane, because, Bryce Young, he deserved to win the Heisman, but in my mind, he won it, at the end of the Iron Bowl and by his performance in the SEC championship. And if he has another heroic performance against Georgia, they're going to beat Georgia in the national championship game. So, I hate to be that simplistic, but, the game is probably going to come down to that. Who wins that edge? Can Georgia find ways to manufacture pass rush that they were unable to do in the SEC championship game? And can Alabama protect their quarterback? Can they get it out of the ball out of his hands quickly? And man, I think that's the key to the matchup there. And you already teased it, Shane. The Bulldogs favored. It opened by 2.5 points. It's already up to 3. Georgia favored by 3. Games in Indianapolis. Thoughts on that one, Shane? Because, oh man, Saban, he's eating up that yummy rat poison right now, isn't he?
Absolutely. Well, fool me once, shame on me. That's what Georgia should be saying. You should throw all that out. This is a pick 'em, Mike. This is two juggernauts going at it in Indianapolis, and it's going to make out to be one of the greatest national championship games ever. We got one of the best offense against the best defense. And then on the flip side, you're like, well, Georgia's offense really took a couple steps forward, I felt like, this week, just as Alabama's defense did. So it's just like these guys cannot become more mirrored opponents than they are right now, and I'm looking forward to this one, brother. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, obviously any win is what you want, but the way you were able to physically manhandle them, it seems up front, was that any more gratifying to see the way you guys were able to control that line?
No, well, I mean, I think you always want to control the line of scrimmage. I think it's always important in any game. And we were able to do that on both sides of the ball, and I think that was a big part of having success in this game. Now, we probably didn't make as many explosive plays because of that, but, it shrinks the game. You don't have to play as many plays on defense. We did a good job on 3rd down and 4th down on defense and got off the field. So the combination of those things with a couple red area stops and being able to control the line of scrimmage up front were probably the key to being successful in this game.
With Brian Robinson, he has a running style where he doesn't shy away from contact. It almost seems to get better after he's run over a couple guys. In terms of the toughness of the team, how contagious can that be, being physical and out physically in the team?
Yeah, well, I think that's always a goal for us, is to play, with more effort, more intensity, be more physical, play with more toughness than the other team. B-Rob certainly exemplifies that in his style of play. And I think it fires up a lot of people around him when they see, a player be able to do that. And he made some tough runs tonight. He got lots of yards after first contact.
Yeah, Nick, all season it seemed like your public comments about this team were very positive and forward-looking, even after like the A&M loss or some close games, or maybe there was some negativity with the fan base. Why did this particular team need that from you?
Well, I think we're a relatively young team. We've got a lot of young players that are out there playing. I think when you have success, the previous season, which, the guys that did come back were very successful, it really took a long time for us to sort of develop the chemistry, on this team from a leadership standpoint, because we had some great leaders on last year's team. So even though guys have leadership qualities, they don't really see that as their role, because it didn't have to be their role in the past. But we've had some guys really step up for us and do a really good job. And I think, I don't want to call it nurturing, but I felt like, we needed to do that with this team, that, just getting on these guys all the time was not going to help their confidence. It was not going to help the young players develop. And, then we started to develop some of these internal, intangible things that really helped us grow as a team.